Hello, and welcome to English Transformation's daily live English class. Today is day 21, and as we are turning 21, I thought we would do conditionals because lots of people have been asking for conditionals. So let's do conditionals. We'll have a look at a few different conditional classes and see where we go. We'll look at some conditional phrases, some things you probably haven't seen in your class, some that you might do. So we'll have a look at the things you've seen and how we can improve it and boost your level. So let me know where you're from. Ask me some questions and comments, and I'll be happy to correct those. Kaz, good morning. We are going to do conditionals today, my friend. I did look at your writing, your examples yesterday, and pretty much they were very, very good. So, well done. Let me know if the sound is not very good though, Kaz, because we had a problem, or anyone. If the sound is not good, let me know, and I'll try and fix that, because it's a little bit strange in my earphones. Cool. So, let's go. Let's go with conditionals. I'm going to be looking down away from the camera because I need to be looking at my computer, so sorry for that. Let's go here and let's go there. All right, little circle of Paul. Fantastic. So, yes, we're going to look at conditionals. We'll have a quick look at an overview of conditionals for you. Let's see if we can use that. I don't know if I like that colour. We've got an overview of conditionals, and we're going to have a look, maybe relatively quickly. The sound is good. Thanks, Kaz. Thank you. Joao Paulo Lopez Araujo. Thank you for your comment. From Brazil, fantastic. And thank you for joining. All right, so you guys often have problems with conditionals. I don't know about you personally, but lots of students do. So let's have a quick look at what they mean and see if we can see the difference between those. Of course, conditionals are adverbs. They're part of the adverb family. Important for you to know all of these. And they show a situation and a result. Of course, the situation is the dependent clause. Now, a dependent clause is something that cannot be used by itself. So we can't have it by itself. I can't say, if I am hungry, and then nothing else. I have to finish the sentence. And the result is the independent clause. Of course, the independent clause is okay by itself. Excuse me, where are we? Mireya Gabriela Orozco, how are you? Good morning to you, or good evening, I'm not sure where you are. So, conditionals. We'll have a look at what the conditional is. Now, of course, there is 1, 2, 3, and mixed. The situation that we might use it in, and then the result, and an example, of course, if I can do it properly, and an example. Sorry. So the first one we will look at, I don't think we'll do red because that will cause us to have problems. The first one we'll look at is zero. Of course, zero conditional is used for facts and truths and common happenings, things that they're just true and they happen all the time. And so facts, truths, common happenings. The example is, if I get hungry, I eat something. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's always true, or at least it's usually true, and it's a fact. If I get hungry, if you get hungry, I eat something, you eat something, simple. Everybody kind of gets that. It's just here, the most common example being present simple and present simple. Let's have a look at that. Wow, this topic which I was thinking last night. Thank you so much. See, Kaz, I know. But I have a terrible cough. All right. Usually you are taught that the zero conditional is present simple, and you'll always do that. Then we're going to have a look at first conditional, and this is a situation that can happen. It is possible, and the result can happen, and it is probable. It's likely to happen. And the example being, if I get hungry, I will eat something. Very similar, but the zero, it's true, and the first, it's likely. Of course, if you're hungry, probably you will eat something, right? If you can. Let's have a look again. Well, there you go. Alexander, how are you? Don't worry, you are late. Not a problem. I think I may have been late as well. All right. We'll also look at second conditional. And this situation is impossible, imagined, or highly unlikely. They probably won't happen. Winning the lottery, for example. Lots of people ask, what would you do if you won the lottery? Well, it's very, very unlikely that you will win the lottery. In fact, don't buy a ticket. You're probably not going to win. But if you did win the lottery, which is very unlikely, if you did win the lottery, the result could be very, very likely. So if I won the lottery, I would buy a big house. If I won a lot of money on the lottery, of course. And so if I got hungry, now this is not highly unlikely, but it's imaginary. I'm imagining getting hungry, right? If I got hungry, I would eat something. Now, talking about this, we can imagine getting hungry. It's an imaginary situation. I'm thinking about it. But it's not impossible, because I could get hungry. And it's not highly unlikely, right? Unless I've just eaten a meal. If I've just eaten and I'm full, and then I'm going for a run, which is not a good idea, then maybe I would say that if I get hungry, or if I got hungry, I would eat something. We'll also have a look at the third conditional, and this is a bit confusing, so stay with me. The situation is how a change in the past might affect the past. How a change in the past might affect the past. And this is used often for regrets and excuses. A change in the past could affect the past. And the example is, if I had gotten hungry, I would have eaten something. If I had gotten hungry, I would have eaten something. I didn't get hungry, so we're changing the past. I wasn't hungry. If I had gotten hungry, I would have eaten something. I wasn't hungry, I didn't eat anything. But we're changing that. Cool? Often used for regrets and excuses. We'll have a look at examples very, very shortly. And then third, and this is not the class, by the way. This is just the outline of the class. We're going to show you, or I'm going to show you, and you could ask questions or write examples about each of these. We're going to see each one individually and some different ways that you can use them. And so the last one we'll look at is mixed conditional, and that is second and third. So second and third, or third and second. We can mix these two. And when we do this, it can show how a change in the past might affect the present or the future. If we change the past, that might change the present and the future. So pretty powerful stuff. And the example could be, if I had found some money, I would be eating now. I didn't have any money, backpacking around Australia, I needed some money. I didn't find any, so I'm not eating now. If I had found some money, I would be eating now. The past changes the present. Cool? Have you got a suitably tough headache right now? That's quite a lot of stuff to think about. Of course, don't forget, if you have any questions while we're going through this, please ask. Just write it in the comments. Even if it's an example sentence, write it in the comments, and I'll be sure to get to it pretty much immediately. But whatever. If you don't, then just enjoy. So, let's have a look at zero conditional. Zero conditional. Let's have a look at that. We've just seen zero, first, second, third, and mixed. Now we'll have a look at this. Same deal. Zero conditional. We'll look at the condition, the situation, the result, and an example, and some more. Cas. Can you explain more about mixed one, please? Yes, Kaz, I definitely can. And we'll have a look at mixed very, very shortly. You'll have to stick around to the end, or go and have your breakfast, and then watch this again and fast forward through the video, whatever. I don't mind, but definitely we will. I think I might sneeze. I'm going to sneeze in a minute. Come on. Oh. Excuse me, but nobody is here. Bless me. All right, that was fun, wasn't it? So the condition we've got is zero. We talked about that it is for facts, truths, and common happenings, and the example was, if I get hungry, I eat something. Well, okay, that's great. Come on, pen. We use this conditional to talk about present, facts, truths, common happenings, or repetitive events, repeating events. Now, we're going to have a little bit of a look at some like math type structure, which is horrible, sorry, but the structure in the present is if plus a subject. If you remember how many subjects there are from a video a few weeks ago, there are 6 types of subject. So if you want to improve your level of English, then when it says subject here, you don't just put I. I'm probably going to do that. But then you try to use different things. All the 6 types of subjects. Nouns, pronouns, gerunds, infinitives, noun clauses, and noun phrases. And maybe some will work and maybe some won't. Maybe the more you use things that you are not familiar with, you will make more mistakes, but then you've got to practice and write comments in here, or a teacher that you know locally, I don't know. But you need to start pushing your boundaries. If I have known that guy wouldn't pay my car, I wouldn't sell for him. You're really not happy about this, Alex, are you? This guy not paying for your car. If I had known, but we'll get to your example later, my friend. So we've got if, come on teacher, if plus subject plus present simple or present continuous, something something. I don't know how your sentence will end, right? I don't know your subject. The verb needs to be in the present, but I don't know how you're going to finish the sentence. Plus a subject and then present simple again. So we've got if I get hungry, I eat something. Present continuous, if I am working late, I eat something at work. I just changed the sentence a little bit, but we've got present simple and present continuous. I think a lot of you don't do that. Now I've used present continuous because it would always be true that I work late oftentimes. So it's common that it will happen, and it's a repeating event. My wife might say, do you need to take something? No, I'll probably be home. But if I'm working late, I'll buy something at work. I could say if I work late. Okay, I could do that. What's this? Let's have a look. That's an awesome sentence. I'm not sure whose sentence, but I trust you. Very, very good. Now, you guys often do this in the present. That's all you're taught. But we can we can use the conditional in the past, and it's the same thing. if plus a subject. Now it's past simple and past continuous, and all of that is the same. The result, you need to use present simple. I'm sorry, past simple. It's very early in the morning. You need to use past simple. If I got hungry, I ate something at work. So for all of you who are overseas now and used to be in Australia, if you're telling your friends, I'm not sure why you would be in Japan speaking English to your friends, or in Brazil speaking English to your friends. You'd probably speak Japanese and Portuguese, but you know, maybe you're speaking to an English speaker. You can do this to talk about things you used to do. So when I was working in Australia, if I got hungry, I ate something. It's not a magical sentence, but it gives you the idea. And if I was working late, I ate something. This one's very simple. It's not rocket science, but you need to try to... I think a lot of people make mistakes with the basics. Your verbs, your past tense, your present simple, making the continuous tense incorrectly. People forget to worry about the very fundamentals. Brushing your teeth. It's not hard. People don't do it enough. Don't smoke. It's not hard to not smoke. Well, it's hard actually for people who smoke. Don't smoke. Don't drink too much. Drink a lot of water. It's simple things. But people don't do it. So you make a lot of mistakes in the simple parts of the easy stuff. And I see it all the time where my students, maybe you, make mistakes with very, very basic grammar. But this is the hard stuff, right? The subject-verb agreement, the tenses. You don't want to study it or do it, but that's the thing to get better at. Anyway, so also the other day, which maybe you saw or maybe you didn't, with this zero conditional, we can do this. When, whenever, each time that, and every time that, instead of if. So let's have a look at an example of that. Just to refresh if you haven't seen it, and it's a new one if you are here for the first time. So I've got if in my example, right? If I got hungry and if I was working late. Well, I could say when I was working late, however you want to finish the sentence. Or, that's awful, sorry. You can write much better than I can. When I see my kids, I smile. I could substitute that to, if I see my kids, I smile. Whenever I see my kids, I smile. Each time that I see my kids, I smile. And you could talk about it in the past. Alex, if you went surfing in Australia, you could say, every time I went surfing in Australia, I felt happy. Each time I think about the asshole who didn't pay for my car, I feel angry. You could say that. You're polite, so you probably wouldn't say asshole. Sorry if anyone's delicate. These things here, this, when, whoops, same example. If, whenever, each time that, every time that. If you use this to talk about conditionals, the people who you are speaking to will think, holy shit, this person's English is amazing. And if you're doing it in an IELTS test, fantastic. Part 2, IELTS, this is gold. And if you're writing using this, fantastic. A lot of native speakers are not going to correct your language, right? They're just going to laugh at you, even if it's inside. And they won't know what is good grammar. Native speakers don't know this usually, but they can use it. But if you use it, it's fantastic. It really is. Like, that is enough. Don't go, because there's lots more cool stuff. But this bit here, these extra little words. Look at that. I seem to like writing all over this. That is really cool. So you should practice using examples with these sorts of things. It's just so good. Now, on my iPad, it's green. On your screen, I think it looks yellow. It looks like someone's peed all over the screen. Anyway, 0 conditional. Done. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. Cool. So try writing examples then, particularly the when, whenever, if, each time that, every time that. I'm getting a bit excited. Very, very weird. Silly me. But, whatever. Come on, pen. So now we're going to look at first conditional. These are the things that are possible to happen and probable results, right? The structure, if my pen wants to work, the structure is if plus a subject, present simple, present continuous, or present perfect. Present simple, present continuous, or present perfect, and then however you finish the sentence. Subject, auxiliary verb, and a base verb. And that auxiliary verb is present. The auxiliary verb is present, and we'll see that. All right. If I get hungry, I will eat something. Will is the auxiliary verb. That's the present form of the auxiliary verb. Then we've got the present continuous. If I am working late, I will eat something. Cool. If the sun is shining, present continuous. If the sun is shining on Sunday, I am going to the beach. There you go. I'm going to the beach. We can use this continuous for the future if it is our plan. So if I asked somebody, let's say her name is Roxy. I'm not sure if she's watching, if you're watching, Roxy, but you're the example. If I ask Roxy, hey Roxy, would you like to come to dinner with me? She might say no, but that would make me sad. If she gave me an excuse, then that might be better. It would soften the blow. She might say, I'd love to, but Friday night I am washing my hair. It's already her plan. Something like this. Cool. So we can use present continuous for the future. And if you have finished present perfect, you can have some cake. Roxy is here. Roxy, would you like to go to dinner with me on Friday? Or are you washing your hair? I don't know. Maybe better left to my imagination. So all these different tenses that we can use for that first conditional. This is another thing. This is how you should be practicing. Writing using present simple, present continuous, a different present continuous, and then a present perfect. Fantastic. Fantastic. At least I think it is. Yeah. See, I don't actually like teaching conditionals so much. I don't know why, but I'm enjoying this. So hopefully you're enjoying it too. I am, and that's the important thing for me. And then we also have this one. If plus a subject plus a present simple, will you work? Present simple or present continuous, and a different result. A different way to use the result. The imperative clause. And an imperative is like an order. So it's things like stand up, sit down, shut up, go to sleep, give me all your money, stop touching my hair, or something like that. Not that I have people touch my hair regularly, they just stand back and look in awe at how beautiful it is. If whoever goes to Paul's class drinking a coffee, he will smell it. All right, yes, but how can we fix that? Let's quickly fix it down there. All right. You remembered. If whoever goes to Paul's class drinking a coffee, he will smell it. Okay, well, how can we fix that? If whoever go to Paul's class. Oops. If whoever, good God, that's just terrible, isn't it? Let's write it properly, Paul, for these lovely people. If whoever goes to Paul's class drinking a coffee, he will smell it. Yes, that's very true. I will smell your coffee. Whoever goes to Paul's class drinking a coffee, he will smell it. Really, I want you to put this. If whoever goes to Paul's class drinking a coffee, he will smell it. I probably would change it to that. But on second thoughts, maybe you don't have to. Whatever. All right, let's get that done. And we'll go down here, back to this structure here, where we can use this imperative clause. So we've got, if the water is hot, add the noodles. Cool? If the water is boiling, add the noodles. It's imperative clause, right? It's not only used for recipes and cooking and things like this, but it's a very common one, right? Cool. So practice in the zero conditional. Practice these new things. I think that's new for you. It must be there. What's this? Well, I wash my hair before going dinner with you. You know what? Even though there is a grammatical mistake in there, Roxy, I will accept it. I might blush and go a little bit red, but I look forward to it. I wash my hair before. Well, I would wash my hair because this is present. You know, I'm going to fix it actually. This is present tense, right? I wash my hair before going to dinner with you. And that means every time. Every time we go to dinner, you wash your hair, which would be very nice. But we don't go to dinner regularly. In fact, probably ever. So it's once in the future. You could say, I would wash my hair before going to dinner with you. I will expect it. And just like I smell Alex's coffee every morning, I might smell your hair before dinner, just to make sure you've washed it. Which could be the end of the date. I don't know. So, getting a bit strange now. Too much coffee this morning. Anyway, fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. And now, we'll look at second conditional. Look at that, 30 minutes, and we've whipped through quite a bit. New stuff. You could stop now, go and practice those things, and you will be improving your English, as long as you practice speaking it. Don't go now, though, because there's a lot more. So let's look at this, the condition, situation, result, and example. Second conditional. We talked about it being impossible, imagined, or highly unlikely. Probably will not happen. Highly unlikely, probably will not happen, but could. And the result would be probable. Remember my example about winning the lottery? It's highly unlikely, probably won't happen. Getting hungry, that's possible. It's imagined. It might be unlikely if I'm not going to be away for long and I've just eaten, but it's imaginary. And the structure for the present is if plus a subject, past simple, past continuous, and then subject, auxiliary verb, and base verb. Interesting. Then we've got, if I got hungry, I would eat something. If I got hungry, I would eat something. That is the past, right? But we're talking about the present. If I got hungry, I would eat something. If I were living in Japan, I would get the train to work. And maybe even London, but that's a city and Japan is a country. And as a country, everybody uses the train, pretty much. If I were living in Japan, I would get the train to work. If I were living in England, I would be terrified because the coronavirus is terrible in England. If I were living in England, I would have a season ticket to Tottenham Hotspur soccer team. If I were living in England, I would not be as happy as I am now. That's my happy face. Lots and lots of cool things. Yeah? It's not only living. If I were sitting downstairs at the moment, I would be playing with Super Mario with my children. And now this is possibly new for you. I don't know. But these new things are what you should use. And then we also have a past structure, which is a subject and were plus an infinitive, and then the past simple. If I were to win the lottery, I would buy a big house. If I were to win the lottery, I would buy a big house. You know what? I'm going to cover that because that's a little bit confusing. So we're going to cover that. We're going to cover that because they're a little bit confusing. Just worry about those structures. You can see oftentimes in books that they put different tenses. This is actually what I wrote, but I haven't finished it. And let's not worry about that. Worry about these structures, because one of the things that happens when you are studying, and this is the time to talk about it, is that I think many of you worry too much about the structure, and I get lots of questions of, can I say this? Can I say that? Can I use this? My book said that, and oftentimes they're wrong. So they're cool questions. Of course, you can ask them, and I'll always be happy to answer them. But what you should be doing is practicing a lot. Say the sentences, write the essays, write the emails, actually write communicative language or speak communicatively. Don't just write example sentences. So it might be that you get on a Skype call with me at the end of a live class and we do it online and we just talk. Or we get a Zoom group and we talk. Or you write a letter to somebody. Write a proper letter to me or a long email. Not too long. But, you know, not just example sentences. And then we'll see if it's better. So, you know, more use of the language, not worrying too much about the structures. Even though I'm showing you the structure, I know I'm doing that. It's, you know, strange. So, we have, if I can, we've got this here, past simple continuous, and the auxiliary verb in the past. And then we've got were plus an infinitive. If I were to win the lottery, it's a very, very common thing for English people to use, that infinitive. If I were to live in Japan, I could say that. If I were living, if I were to live, I could do both. Cool? If I were winning the lottery, well, no, we wouldn't say that because that's not continuous, is it? Living in Japan is continuous, or England or wherever. But the lottery is only once. So if I were to win the lottery, I would buy a big house. Cool? Questions in the comments if you have any questions. If you don't, that's cool too. Let's go third. Kaz, we're coming to your question very shortly. Conditional third. Remember that this is how a situation in the past might affect the future. That is the whole thing. And then our example. If I had gotten hungry, I would have eaten something. Past perfect. And then would plus have eaten. Now I know I said just before that you don't need to worry too much about the structure, but it's too much. Because two is negative. Too much beer, too much smoking, too much sleep. Well, too much smoking. Probably one is too much. Too much food, too much TV. Like two is negative. So don't worry too much about the structure. But worry a little bit about it. A little bit. And more about using the language, because that's where you get better. Right? Otherwise, you just got a head full of knowledge. And I wonder how helpful that might be. Using it is much better. Anyway, we'll have a look at this. We've got if plus subject plus past perfect, and then would have and past participle. Cool. And I did say that it talks about regrets. So I ate a lot of food. I ate a lot for breakfast, which is just in the past. And now I feel sick. Or sorry, I ate a lot last night. That's the past and the past. I ate a lot last night and I felt sick last night. If I hadn't eaten so much, I wouldn't have felt sick. Felt being the past participle of feel. If I hadn't eaten so much, I wouldn't have felt sick. I did eat a lot and I did feel sick. So changing the past changed the past. Cool? Yes, Paul. Cool. All right, now and excuse. Everybody has excuses and they're all useless, right? If I had known your phone number, I would have called you. If I had known your phone number, I would have called you. That could be a bit of a lie and an excuse. Oh, I didn't know your phone number, so I didn't call. Or you should have asked me, right? But you can do that. Your regrets, if I had known her phone number, I would have called her. That could be a regret. I didn't call her, and now she married somebody else, and that's a disaster. Or an excuse. You guys probably could use excuses all the time, right? For your work, or your family, or whatever it might be. Let's have a look at this example. There we go. If I had been to your class when I was in Australia, I would have lived in Australia now. Well, that's a big call, my friend. Maybe you would have learned a bit of English, but at least you came to the library classes. That was cool, Kaz. And that's fantastic. I would have lived in Australia now. Not would have lived, because this is the difference. You have used, let's see if my pen will go in the right place. Would have lived. Now that is present perfect, of course, have lived. But that means finished. The continuous means still happening. So I would have been living in Australia now would be the thing that you would use. So that is the mistake. And it's cool, keep using it. I don't care about the mistakes. Nobody does, only you. So keep doing it, keep making mistakes, that's okay. If I had been to your class when I was in Australia, I would have been living in Australia now. You might say that. And of course you could change would to could. I could have been living in Australia. It shows a possibility. Fantastic sentence. But you're pretty lucky, you are in Japan. That's not a bad place to be. So third conditional, there you go. Regrets and excuses. Maybe you should write some examples. Write a regret that you have and an excuse that you have. That would be cool. And now we have mixed. Ta-da. That's my excited noise, my celebratory noise. Mixed. Ta-da. Mixed conditional. Excuse my terrible formatting. The condition, the result, and the example. Second and third. We do third and second, of course. And it shows how a change in the past could affect the present, or I think I put the past, future, sorry, or the present rather. If I had found some money, I would be eating now. Let's get rid of that. Oh no, we'll keep that. We'll keep that. If I had found some money, I would be eating now. We used that example. So the structure could be the third situation and the second result. Past perfect, base verb, right? Auxiliary and base verb. Here we've got the past perfect, had found, had paid, had eaten, or the negative, hadn't found, hadn't known, hadn't eaten, and would be eating now. Cool. and then we've done that example there. Let's have a look at this one. If Paul had eaten more at 1 p.m., he wouldn't be hungry now. I was writing this in the evening. Paul didn't eat much. He is hungry now. If I had eaten more in the past, I wouldn't be hungry now. A change in the past affects the present. What's Kaz say? Thank you. That's cool. Yes, it's very cool. And then we have this second situation, third result. Past simple or continuous. Remember the second conditional. Past simple or continuous. Would have and past participle. If I were the boss, I'm not the boss. So it's changing. It's imaginary. I would have done things differently. Right? If I were the boss, I would have done things differently. Done being the past participle of do, of course. If I were the boss, I would have done things differently. Changes the past. Remember, our mixed can change the past or the present. So a change in the past can change the present or the past. This one up here, or this one here, sorry. I don't know why I did that. What an idiot. This is the past changing the present, and this is the past changing the past. All right? I didn't eat much. I'm hungry now. If I had eaten more, I wouldn't be hungry. I am not the boss. I wasn't the boss. I didn't do things differently. I couldn't because I wasn't the boss. But if I were the boss, I would have done things differently. Now I can change that around and say, if I were the boss, I would do things differently. If I was the boss now, I would do things differently now. Go back and have a look at the second conditional. But we're talking about changing the past. If I were the boss, I would have done things differently. Cool? Do we have any questions? Maybe you've got a headache. You need a coffee. I don't know. And that, my friends, is 0, first, second, third, and mixed conditionals in under 45 minutes. Can I play this? I don't know if you're going to hear that. I'm not sure if you can hear that or if I can only hear that. That applause. Fantastic. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? And I'd love for somebody to jump on at the end. If you want to, I don't care if I know you or not. Do you want to get on live now or shortly on Skype and have a chat? We can totally do that if you would like to. And if you don't like to, then you don't have to. But, hello, big me. We're going to have a look while you are deciding if you would like a live chat to millions and millions of people on YouTube who probably won't see you. Then let me know and we can organize to have a chat. Just ask me a question, I'll answer it, and then we'll go. Just see how brave you are. If you want to, of course. If you don't, that's fine. But while you are doing that, I thought we might have a look at some phrasal verbs for sleep. So let's do that. Some phrasal verbs and some idioms to talk about sleep. Let's go here. And I might do a success quote as well. I did say I would for Jennifer, for everybody. But our phrasal verbs, you can't see what I'm doing there, so I should probably do this. There we go. That's better. Phrase. Come in, baby. Come in. Come in. All right. Phrasal verbs for sleep. I'm going to say hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
May.
Oh, that was painful, mate. Lucky you've got a sister. All right, we're going to do phrasal verbs with sleep, and one of them is sleep in. It just means to stay in bed asleep later than usual. Stay in bed asleep, of course, otherwise you're not sleeping. Later than usual. Cool? Hey May.
Hello.
Can you say hello Kez?
Hello, Kez.
And hello Alex?
Hello, Alex.
Hello everybody.
Hello, everybody.
And hello Daddy.
Hello, Daddy.
Alright, fantastic. Another phrasal verb with sleep. This one is cool. Sleep over. And there's one here that is a bit naughty, and because my daughter's here I'm not going to do it. Sleepover is fine. And sleepover means stay overnight at a friend's house. Ow! At a friend's house. We can use it as a noun as well. So if ever you're learning this vocabulary, or any vocabulary, if it's a verb and a noun, you've doubled your vocabulary, haven't you? So you can quite easily learn hundreds of words just by learning a few, right? So you can sleep over at my house. Or May's friend would probably ask, hey May, ask your daddy if you can sleep over at my house. That would be the verb. Or she might say, can you have a sleepover? And that would be fine too. Just stay overnight at her house. What should we do next, May? I don't know. I don't know, she says a lot. This is good. Sleep something, usually it. Sleep something off. And it means to recover from something. Usually being hungover. If you've drunk a lot of alcohol and you're feeling pretty average, pretty bad, then you might sleep it off. And when you wake up, you feel better. Cool? Sleep something off. Usually a hangover. Are you tired from playing Mario?
Lily's playing it now.
Lily's playing it now. All right, fantastic. And then this one we'll have a look at is sleep on something. Usually, if I can spell usually it. It's usually sleep on it. So if you have a problem that you can't make a decision on, and it's quite a big problem, and you think, I really don't know what to do. Should I buy the house or not? Is it too much? Should I buy the car? Should I chase the guy who hasn't paid me for my car? Or whatever it might be. I don't know the problem that you have. But if you have a decision to make, we say, why don't you just sleep on it? Meaning that after you've slept on it, your subconscious will help you during your sleep, and in the morning you will make a better decision. So why don't you just sleep on it? You know what, I think I'll sleep on it. And that means you're thinking about it in your sleep without knowing, and you make a better decision the following day. Cool? Does Daddy have the best job in the world?
I don't know.
You say yes.
I don't know.
Probably Rockstar would be a better job, but this is pretty close. It's pretty close, mate. All right. Now, May-chan, we're going to have a look at not phrasal verbs. What am I talking about, mate? we're going to have a look at idioms for sleep. Look at you in the camera. Do people want to see your head on there? Idioms for sleep. One of them is sleep like a log. You know what a log is, mate? What's a log?
A big tree trunk.
A what?
A big tree trunk.
A big tree. It's really hard
that
for
fell
people to
over.
understand you when your hands are in front of your mouth. What is it?
Big tree trunk.
A big tree trunk. So if there's a tree in the forest that's fallen down, it's a log. Hey, mate. Hairband.
It's not a headband.
All right. Sorry. I don't know what accessories are. If you find a log, logs lay down, they don't move. That's what you do if you sleep very well. So to sleep like a log is sleep very well and maybe not wake up. Without waking, not forever because you might be dead, waking during the night. Sleep very well without waking during the night. Cool? I slept like a log. People often say sleep like a baby. I slept like a baby to mean I slept very well. And okay, people do it all the time, but babies don't sleep very well. They wake up all the time crying and hungry and they shit themselves and all this sort of stuff. So sleep like a log. Don't move, because logs don't roll around, do they? Sleep like a baby? Yeah. If you cry a lot at night time, maybe sleep like a baby. I don't know. Another one that we have that's very strange. Fast asleep. Fast asleep. Doing nothing, not moving. But it just means sleeping very well. Completely asleep. Not moving, not like a light sleep. To be fast asleep is very, very asleep. If that's even a phrase. Cool? So if someone, like we might say, shh. She's fast asleep. It's very restful, very regenerative, makes you feel good afterwards if you've been fast asleep. So you think the log is better than baby, don't you? Well, it depends on what we're talking about. Kaz, if we're talking about this example, sleep like a log, it makes more sense to me. But I might just be a weird person. Lots of people will say sleep like a baby. I know what it means. Because babies often do look pretty peaceful and comfortable when they're sleeping, right? But they don't do it for very long and they wake up crying. So you're not going to be wrong if you say, I'm just a dickhead and pick these things. So, you know, whatever. But I might use log. Cool. Fast asleep. You don't say slow asleep. Now, those were for sleeping well. To sleep like a log, maybe a baby, and to be fast asleep. But if you didn't sleep at all, a really bad night, just tossing and turning, you might put not sleep to not sleep a wink. Wink is, it just looks like I'm a bit sick now. You know, one eye, your eyes close, just quickly. They do it all the time, right? If you're lucky, somebody of the opposite sex might wink at you, and that would be nice. So that is your eyes closing ever so slightly. If you haven't slept a wink, it means no sleep at all. I didn't sleep a wink, right? Because that is a very short time. Didn't sleep much at all. Didn't sleep a wink. To go to bed, we talked about the other day, or last week, hit the sack just means go to bed. Maybe people used to sleep in sacks, who knows, but that's what they mean. And then when you're falling asleep, if you're falling asleep, of course we have fall. We have fall asleep and drop off to sleep. It's a little like a phrasal verb as well, isn't it? We also have nod off. So fall asleep is fall asleep, isn't it? Go to sleep. You're back again.
I'm sleeping outside.
Start to sleep. To drop off is to fall asleep. It's start to sleep. And to nod off is sleep, or it's fall asleep and sleep briefly. Maybe on the train. If you're coming home from work on the train, you might just, when your head falls down, because this is a nod. That's right, May. That's a nod, like yes. Yes, Daddy, I will tidy up my room. No, she's doing this. No, she won't. So to nod off, you can see people on the train doing it. They just like that. Cool? Cool, May? Is Daddy cool? No, she says no.
A little bit.
All right. And then if you maybe you're on the train and you've nodded off and you might over sleep. It's sleep more than you should. And if you're doing it on the train, you might miss your stop. My father did this many years ago. Gang did that. He fell asleep on the train from London to Milton Keynes, and he ended up or Bletchley it was. He ended up in Milton Keynes, which is about 10 minutes away. Luckily, it wasn't too far, and that was very cool. So, we saw conditionals 0, first, or you saw conditionals 0, first, second, third, and mixed. And then we saw some sleep phrasal verbs and some sleep idioms. And now, Kaz's favourite part, we're going to play a bit of hangman or something, mate. All right?
Yeah.
Don't forget, if you've got questions, that's cool. Hang on. Oh, what am I using this for? It's not even bloody plugged in.
What's not plugged
I can hear it because it's in there, but I didn't plug the flaming microphone in. So you're hearing sound from my MacBook or wherever, and I'm talking into this thinking I sound like a radio presenter, and it's not plugged in. What an idiot. Never mind. Back up, I suppose. And sorry, baby?
You have to get Lily.
Okay, you start drawing something then.
Okay.
You don't have to probably worry about that now. Because you can still hear me because it's not on that bloody microphone. All right, you don't need those on. May is going to draw something. You're going to guess what it is. And we'll see what happens. And I'm going to get Lily. You good? All good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, get out of the way, Daddy.
I get to sit on the comfy chair.
You got to talk to them as well, though, May.
Ah, okay. Let's see.
Lily, turn. Okay.
Oh, I know what to do. Hey. There you go. Yeah, come on, monkey. Nah, don't like his headphones. Now, what should we talk about? I know what to do.
Go on then, quickly.
I already did it.
But that's not drawing something, is it?
Yeah, I did it. Oh, A.
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 You say hello, Lily.
Hello.
All right. E.
I.
I.
Wait.
I.
No, I.
O.
O.
What's that?
Okay, L. No, wait, O. No, L. No, O. No, L. Can you do this kind of bell?
F. Maybe they're saying hello to you. You say hello back?
Hello. I said hello.
L. S. S.
I said hello.
Good girl. N.
Nope. Did you say M or N?
Is there an N?
M.
I didn't say N.
What?
I did. M?
Wait, N?
Yeah.
M.
M, good girl.
T.
Uh-huh.
T.
T.
Yes, T.
Oh, Lily, well done. What's that then?
B. B. No. Wait, did I do this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Daddy, I'm doing all the letters that are on
Very good,
that
very
I
good.
haven't done.
Guess more letters if you can, guys, and try and help us out.
S.
S is already done, sweetheart.
U. No, U. H. H. Oh, yes, there is a H. Oh, you're just copying those things.
H. All right, where's H? Is it easy for me?
Yeah, it's a word in this room.
A word in this room?
2 words. 2 words.
Her? R.
Ah.
Her. Dere.
What?
Her. Ah, J. And Y. Her Majesty. Her Majesty because of this. There we go. That is the Queen. She is our Majesty. All right, Lily, are you going to draw something quickly?
Let's go.
Yeah? All right. Mind out, babe. There you go, princess. Stand there.
Now I'm going to sit on you.
Aye, aye, aye. My least favourite bit. All right. Go on, Lil.
My favourite bit.
Right, Lily's going to draw something. Here you go. Lily's going to draw something and then we'll guess what it is. Her Majesty means the Queen. We could say Your Majesty. It's a tough one, May. It's a little bit hard, baby.
But I still
All right,
did it
Lily, what are you drawing?
Oh, she's copying.
Keep going, keep going.
I have no idea what she's drawing. She's
Come on,
looking
babe.
somewhere. Oh, are you drawing a penguin? Yeah.
A
See penguins.
penguin. Beautiful, with a white belly and a black body and some eyes and a mouth. No, sorry.
No, this.
Mushroom. Is it a mushroom? It was a penguin, buddy. You're drawing. All right, go on then.
Yeah, those
Pink
big
eyes.
eyes. Still looks good.
It was a penguin. Anyway, while Lily is finishing off drawing, I have to go and teach very, very soon.
Yeah.
Well done, Lily.
You
That
already
is a
are
cute
teaching.
penguin. Well, I'm teaching on YouTube, but now I'm going to go and get paid for teaching a proper class. if you would like to eventually have a live Skype chat where you ask me questions and I answer them, that will be the cool bit. Write some questions. Think of some questions. Get a couple of example sentences written that we can fix. Like, do that tonight or today, depending on where you are. And then tomorrow we can do that, and that will be cool. It's very hard maybe to think of questions right now on the spot, so think of those tonight and send me your questions or whatever, and we can answer them tomorrow. It'd be really, really cool.
I have to get
Great classmate. Let's have a look at that. We should put that at the bottom. Great classmate. See ya. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and tell your friends. I'd love it if you could share my channel and my class with your friends so I can help more people. Anyway, this is devolving into craziness. So say goodbye, May.
Bye bye.
Say goodbye, Lily.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Don't get that here.